everyone. Mostly just for YouTube, for this intro. But my name is Zelda. I'm here with Xander Robotnik, and our tracker today is Ace Zero. We are here for a standard seed game 2, Mclagging versus Frostbite. The stream should change itself in just a moment. I'm feeling quite good because I just got home and I'm eating. So here we are, standard estate. Not sword assured, which means we're going to see what starter weapon we have in it. Oh! Wait, is this game 3?
Yes, I believe so. And I'm pretty sure we do have our swords assured.
Oh,
there they are. They come
right.
out swinging.
Right. You don't get your sword until you get Uncle. Right. I forgot that V31 changed how you get the sword. So it is sword. It's not sword assured, but it is a standard sword start. Unless this is actually game 3, in which case, ignore me. One second, let me see what this game this is. It is game number 3, so it is actually standard sword. So each of them have 1 win. So it's actually sword assured standard. Somebody really wanted to play a standard seed. Like a good old V18 standard seed.
You know, in their shoes, I wouldn't mind that, as opposed to, like, not getting a sword at the start. Sometimes the items you can get can be really rude, like bombs. So, yeah. Glad we can just swing and slash right now.
Thankfully, all of those starts are pretty scienced out at this point. Like, all of the weird starts, like bombs have its strategies you can use. The cane has, like, very specific, like, timing that you use the cane on. So at this point, it's pretty scienced out. But yeah, having a sword is just nice. It just helps out in general. Honestly, I've heard some people have been talking about wanting to make a V18 tournament, not with the actual version, but the rule set. Just go back to the olden days for a tournament. "500 escapes later, the tournament is over." Or was the first tournament open? I actually don't remember, because I only watched the finals, and I don't really remember it that much.
Can't say for sure. It's been a while, but we've come a long way since then.
Yeah, raising 30,000. Well, not $30,000. Much more than that in that single crowd control the other day. 30,000 in bits alone. Not including people just donating to donate.
I did catch that, and some of the things that can happen in the crowd control randomizer are just pretty insane. Just like, oh, let's just instant KO the runner. That'll be fun.
I would highly recommend the interview from Andy afterwards. Fiesel interviewed Andy afterwards, and some good insights, like how, like, Andy is definitely the person who was able to would have been the best person for that. He's done crowd control the most of any person, and he's probably played ALTTPR randomizer more than any person.
So at this point through the escape sequence, looks like the most interesting things we've pulled out is a bottle, which will be nice for Sitka when we visit CAC, and we do have bombs as well, so we will get to check to see what's in those back 3 chests of escape.
And not having to farm for those bombs is quite nice. Or at least not having to make the decision to farm or not. Because it can be quite a decision.
And here we get to see one of the little conveniences of a standard here, where the first time through the escape sequence in the darkness, we do get the little lamp cone. If they ever come back here, it will be gone if they don't have a lamp.
That is not true. It's actually always a light cone in here on standard mode.
Well then.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Sometimes it is required, like, if you don't get a bomb here, sometimes there is love. A lamp can actually be... lamp can lock loves and can be back here in a standard seed. So because that's possible.
That makes sense, yeah. It's to avoid any sequence, like where it's suddenly the lamp is in here, but suddenly it's out of logic because it's in the darkness. Gotcha.
Ironically, because of the new logic, it's in logic.
Because of Fire Rod, right?
Yeah, because of Fire Rod, or it can be in Logic. I'd love it if they just threw all those pretenses away and just made advanced Logic. Oh, hey, Mirror. I still think advanced Logic should have been like Dark Rooms, Fake Flipper, a lot of like the more easy and kind of like, this is the first thing you should learn when you race Randomizer. Why are we? Oh, going for more bombs. Okay.
I understand you. That does make sense. I am at the same time. I don't mind. I like my lamp.
Question mark, question mark. Oh, counting items, Frostbite. Good job. I didn't do that. Competitive.
The green one was up in Hera, I believe is what I saw, right?
Yep. And with a mirror this early, Hera might be in play quite early. It won't take too much. These are just like a lot of convenient items to find early on routing-wise. Glove helps, mirror helps. Both will make routing much more convenient later on. Mirror also lets you do a few nice minor glitches. That also makes things go a little bit faster. 3 more bombs, so we're definitely not, lacking on bombs here. Mclagging is checked and saw the piece of heart.
I think we just saw 10 arrows up there, so Aga is not required, but who knows? Depending on the way items pan out, we might still see them.
The mirror does make me want to hold out on doing any dungeon, just because I'd want to combine them. Like all 3 of the Light World dungeons, if you have the mirror, are really easy to combine with Dark World check. So I think if I was in this seat, I'd really want to. Oh, hey, there's a level ready. I'd want to. Oh, and the Moon Pearl. Okay. So I'd really like to avoid doing the dungeons if possible. Three bombs. I think we're gonna find Dark World access in Kakariko.
We're only 1 item away. I don't blame you for thinking that.
I think this is gonna be one of those seats where we're gonna get to see a really, really early the Village of Outcasts. Like if we find Dark World access here in this cave that Frostbite's in, they're just gonna go north and they're just gonna enter Dark World and they're just gonna combine all of their checks together. It's a little risky if they didn't have 5 hearts from the escape already. But they do. There's a blue cane, that helps a lot too. Another piece of heart, and they've already at 6 hearts. So even going to the Dark World early isn't a risk like it can be in open mode sometimes. There's a shield. Three more chets in the village.
And real quick, looking at the sprites here, is Frostbite using, is that a Plague Knight, I think, from Shovel Knight?
Plague Knight from Shovel Knight. And Boomerang.
Both boomerangs in Kakariko Village. Now that's pretty interesting.
Another potion, okay. 2 red potions. Okay. One last shot to get the early Dark World. And unfortunately not. We're seeing Frostbite already go down. Gonna probably swap that mirror to get the easier check here. Saves you a screen. Not too much these runners can do at this point. Like it's pretty safe to say that this is going to be a straightforward seed. The only major variation one of them could have done is go to Hera.
Actually, with that, I don't know. I got a little feeling we might see that lamp somewhere logical soon, just to make that Hera play logically doable. But at the same time, obviously, these runners probably don't need that.
Right.
Pretty decent chance that's going to come up pretty soon here, even because we got that early mirror.
And the interesting is that the hammer opens up East Death Mountain and Dark World. So if they find that instead of the Titan's Mitts, that could lead to some pretty interesting choices. Also, yeah, like I think that Titan's Mitts is pretty boring to find here. But the hammer is very interesting because it leads to a lot more. But so far, just the Master Sword. So now we're just one item away from Adenum. That is the lamp. But at the same time, the lamp would give them access to a lot more. So starting to look like Easter might be a thing. They've got enough money to do Zora, so I expect them to do Fake Flipper.
So I kind of hinted at it. I'm not too great at dark rooms, so Aghanim I never touch without the lamp. And usually you wouldn't, because if you end up having to do it, it's because you've ran out of checks. But how hard would you say the dark rooms are in Aga's Tower without lamp?
It's primarily the maze that's the problem, because a lot of the enemies in Adenum's are actually visible in the dark, somewhat. But the primary concern is like the maze, and that's really hard to. That one's actually hard to memorize. It's not as easy as Pod. Generally, most people like the problem is that even if you are, unless you've actually memorized the dark room one for one, and you can do it without using your sword out, etc. It's just very slow. And it's hard to tell what's going on. And I think most runners basically say, like, don't do it unless killing Adenum is your go mode. So, like, if killing Adenum 1 is your go mode without the lamp, and you have one other location, you should do it. But otherwise, no. And so that really only ever comes up in entrance. Or Key Sanity. Like, climbing the tower in Key Sanity is a little bit more often, because it's actually got item checks, but... In general, I think most runners go with the rule of thumb of never do Dark Aga Tower, ever. So...
Good to know. Thank you for the insight. And we got these runners doing a little high five as they both are fake flippering. One heading to Hobo, one heading from Hobo here.
It looks here like Frostbite is in the lead, but all he did is just not check Lumberjack. So that's the only advantage that these guys technically have among each other. So Frostbite doesn't know that that's a thing. Lady knows that Ada isn't there for an item. But yeah, the Ada Dark, like in my opinion, every dark room is like, if you want to play in tournaments, you should learn every dark room except for Adra's Tower. You never need to learn that one. Like in the one in probably like 1 million seeds where we're like doing fire rodless lamp Aga tower is a thin, it's not worth it. Even that seed, you just take the L on that one. Spend your time learning better tricks. It's like when people are like, "I'm gonna learn hovering." It's like, do you know how to do Do you know how to do these other 200 tricks in the game? If not, ignore it.
Makes sense. And we saw there was nothing there from King Zora. On the island in the lake, though, we did see a rod. Seems like chat saying it was the ice rod up there, so good information to have for later.
So it looks like Eastern is where we're going next. We do still need to find progression, and it will be in either Eastern or Adina Cave. It could be on the mountain as well, but if it is, then the lamp is in Eastern. And again, even with knowing dark rooms, the lamp is still nice. You're going to get through the rooms faster, like, unless you're inhuman. Most of the dark rooms have enemies, and those enemies have RNG, so you're going to hit the enemy, like, unless you're very lucky. Oh, and that's 3 more useless items, and both of our runners going the same way.
Yeah, this is impressive. We saw a lot of stuff like in the very first couple checks out of the castle, and it's just been a whole lot of nothing for the past 10 minutes since.
Yeah. Nothing in Cellshore, except for, like, the second sword, which is important. So Crystal EP dip with a mirror feels bad, because again, you'd want to combine this with pod, and with the pendant layout already known to be 2 out of 3, you know, it's pod's probably a crystal.
Do you have any hopes where that third pendant is hiding in Dark World?
Probably. Oh, hey, there's that lamp. So that puts all the 3 boss items in logic, as well as Death Island. I'm gonna guess that Hera is required. So that gives our runners a couple more logic checks. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the only thing in Eastern Palace. Funny enough, with full magic, Spike Cave is in logic. Oh no, we need the hammer. Never mind. I'm silly. I always forget that hammer's needed.
So when it comes to doing, we have the blue cane for that. Okay, I was about to ask, what is it that puts it in logic? Because can it be in logic without the cape or blue cane?
No, not anymore. Used to be. Hey, shovel. That's interesting. Another item that you'd want to, in theory, save for when you can combine it with Dark World. But we might have to see our runners will probably check that before, like, Adina. That could be our first divergence. We might see somebody check the shovel instead of going straight to the mountain.
All right, Frostbite's coming up on this last chest in here. I'm hoping it's the third item. I don't want to leave anything behind on the Armos Knights. I want to know we don't have to come back here till go mode.
Oh, and there's Quake. So yeah, we've actually got everything. Now you can just basically leave that dungeon until whenever. Okay, looks like Frostbite's going straight to the mountain. There'll be something up there. There's gotta be. Well, actually, I guess there doesn't have to be. But it'll be pretty disappointing if all those checks don't. For this, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 checks.
Yeah, the somewhat awkward thing about finding that lamp is it both gave us mountain access and Aghanim access.
Yeah. But with the 6 checks, like, they don't have access to anything but Pod for Dark World, so I doubt that they are, hankering to check Dark World until they find at least the hood shot and flipper, like the hood shot or something like that.
Makes sense. I know I'd be in no hurry to get into the Dark World that way.
And that is a piece of heart. So that's another checkout. Oh, and there's the cape. That'll probably be something that they pick up once they're done Hera. Or immediately. Okay. Okay. I would have waited, because it's faster that way.
Definitely faster. The only risk is if you get so committed in Hera, you forget to come back down here on the way out. But yeah, I get it.
But I mean, yes, like if you land the bomb jump, it's fine. But... There, gets the bomb jump, so that's fine. You do want that cape though.
For sure, and yeah, Ace in chat pointed out for us, if the hammer does end up being in Hera, that kind of allows for a slightly little nicer routing for just being able to head straight east if they wanted to. It's a very situational optimization, but it could pay off here.
Dark World's Swamp Palace is the other pendant. I ain't checked where the reds were, but... Oh. It's the bit key. Not checking. Did they check the back chest?
They have not yet. They're probably hoping, Frostbite's hoping they'll see 2 items on the way up and not have to go back.
I guess. Hopefully they don't forget if it is something.
I imagine they'll be counting. Well, just a compass.
Not wanting to bomb jump. Gets the harder bomb jump, opts to fall down the hole here. 20. We'll see if the game wants us to go on an adventure.
And Mclagging showing us that bomb jump on the left side there.
They can get out to desert yet? They can get to the desert any time. It's just a matter of, they want to check just one item. But they cannot get into the palace yet. We are going to the basement. Oh, I see what you're asking. You're asking if they had been there.
And Frostbite's opting to full clear. Always good to get this out of the back of your head and not just orphan it, because it can really fester and bug you if there's something here. But unfortunately, if there's nothing, it's quite the time sink. But Mclagging doing it too means that neither runner's losing time off of it, which is really nice. Need to go get your cup of coffee?
No, but Mclagging could have been if he did it right.
All right, we got a flute.
That opens up absolutely nothing. But opens up pod later. And lets us go to desert easier.
Yeah, it'll definitely make the Agena check just a little more appealing. And Frostbite taking out the weapon from his game's namesake. For chivalry we go. That's usually what happens in Shovel Knight too when you dig stuff up. I think just money comes out, so pretty standard.
Hey, Mclagging, that's my idea. Just spamming the flute. If you don't do it during the addendum climb, you lose your rights to the flute.
So with this flute activated now, all we have left is Agena and Aghanim, or am I missing any checks here?
No, just the all green pendant.
That's right. That could be something good.
On. Frostbite thinks green pendant is what he wants to check.
And about 28 minutes in, this is one of the earliest green pendant turn-ins I'm used to seeing.
I mean, I guess you've never speedrun any percent. Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, I haven't.
Hey, Blue Mail, that's gonna be nice for the climb. That we're gonna 100% be doing, I'm sure. This is pretty miserable, to be honest. Like, if they have to go to Dark World. Because it's either Catfish, Pyramid, or, like, Pod that they'll have to double dip.
Yeah, that's actually pretty rough. The one thing I kind of hope, well, I was going to say I hope we don't find Hookshot here just because if they then went to the Dark World, they'd have a 50-50 chance of getting it right. But the Hookshot does give us some east side of Death Mountain, so they might check that first.
Right.
I've just seen races determined before based on bad luck because someone has the hook shot, so they pick going to West Side Dark World.
Oh.
The other person picks Pod. But just a piece of heart.
Yeah, looks like we're going to Dark World. Well, there's been no divergence because honestly, there's no chance for divergence yet.
If they tried, they would have been converging here anyway.
Yeah, like, I mean, even if they did try, it just would have been suboptimal, honestly. Like, there's no... At no point, like, with these starting items with that early mirror in Escape, like I said, most people are gonna try to avoid, even people who generally do dungeons earlier, like, things like people who go to Eastern earlier, they, you know, they could have easily still, I mean, yeah, but really when you're, the only real divergence I could have seen is one person skipping Fate Flipper. But, yeah, it's... I just don't see too much divergence possible in this seed. Like, other than, yeah, there's the Stip Cave. Like, Mclagging is oh, did Mclagging Stip Cave? Then I'm not sure how Frostbite has slipped ahead. Maybe just better movement. Nobody was just the tape inside Spectacle Rock 1 year. Did in for... Like, that's just too important. Oh, right, Mclagging did stip the tape. Never mind, there was a divergence. That's silly. That's gonna... Hopefully that doesn't bite him in a moment. I didn't even notice he stipped it. That's, interesting.
But if Mclagging skipped it, that just kind of shows further that Frostbite's got a better movement then, because Frostbite's still ahead, having done Lumberjack check and the cape.
I love it when that guy just slips for no reason. I don't know why that character, or why that mob sometimes falls down that corner.
My best guess is someone donated bits to make the floor icy for him.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that Mclagging had checked it and Frostbite stipped it, and that's why Mclagging is slightly behind. These red guards are very annoying. The nice thing about having Mirror is that we never actually have to deal really with Dark World. Or sorry, Light World 2. Just because we can do almost all we can do all the checks without ever encountering those like mobs. So using the hook shot like a true 90% runner, although not swapping to blue hook shot mistake.
But the sparklies are so pretty.
Yes, but they also cost you like 10 frames every time they move.
Details, details.
Sparkles in this game are not very good for your frames.
All right, well, on to the Aghanim fight. Let's see how many blue balls we get this time.
Okay, 2 hits. 3 hits. 1 blue ball. Four hits. 5 hits. Hey, only 1 blue ball.
At least they get rewarded a little bit for having to do this Aghanim fight so early.
So 33 minutes and we're in the Dark World for the first time. Let's see what's down here. Frostbite checking his map. Red is unequivocally the worst item in the game, TBH.
Well, here comes what could be a big divergence.
Yeah, we actually finally got divergence. We're seeing Frostbite checking one of the most neglected checks in all of ALTTP. the catfish. A gigantic time sink. Now, the nice thing is, because he has the mirror, normally, like, this check is actually pretty bad, especially when you enter Dark World this way, but because he has the mirror, when he saves inputs, he'll actually be on the pyramid, so he won't have to make this walk back like he would if he didn't have the mirror. He would have to walk back as the fastest way to get back to pod. So this should actually be fine, because you can just save input, he'll be on the top of the pyramid. And okay, that paid off. You can actually do a lot better checks. And they are saving Quidden in the light world. Or realizing they have the flute. So they are. That is blows this wide open. Although this could be a locked pod. It is. So unless he wants to use one of his 2 pots.
But at this point, Mclagging knows something has to be on Catfish because there's nothing else logically accessible.
Right, which is interesting that he's continuing on here. Now this could work out really well. It will also give him a lot of information. Like, if he finds the hammer in here, he'll have so much information.
Meanwhile, Frostbite's given us a look at what's inside of Skull Woods.
That was weird. One of the minutes wasn't even off screen yet, and it was like, "Yeah, you're done. Good job."
Close enough. It's like horseshoes or something. And that's one item down in Skull Woods, finding a red rupee. Only one more to go.
And getting their keys. Legend is going full in. He has decided he is here, so he is going. He makes it. Which is interesting, because like, you know, he knows Catfish has something, but at this point he's decided, well, if my opponent went to Catfish first, I need to find the item here and make my time worthwhile. At least that's what I assume is going through their mind. I would probably honestly be doing the same thing as Mclagging. Although I usually do check Catfish first, so I'd probably be Frostbite in this seed. Okay. Frostbite not finding anything else, so there's still one item in the back. Frostbite definitely seems like he, like, going to my area would be an A. There's the hood shot. That actually is huge. That is a huge find. Blood catching net. Mclagging will not be punished on this day. Frostbite checking the mirror spot over here? Interested. Oh, and powder! Okay, this pod dive is working out for Mclagging. What a pod, honestly. This is a god pod.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see at what point Frostbite finally decides to go back, because without finding Bo, probably won't want to. Unfortunately, I haven't been counting items. Do you know how many more chests contain goodies here in Pod?
No, but, oh, I won't check the... Okay, it looks like they are gonna go get, or, you know what? Hopefully they think and they realize their hammer or glove is at Catfish. Because if they use their hook shot here and go to the other side, they are going to lose an actually ridiculous amount. Okay, good. Thank goodness. They would have lost so much time in this seed if they didn't go to Catfish here. It would actually be unbelievable. Because they wouldn't have access to easier ways to get through.
Yeah, we're just going to point out that that's a good little bit of logic awareness that even though they've gotten other items that open up a whole lot, something has to be at Catfish as far as Mclagging knows, because everything they've gotten is sequence broken due to having to do that potion glitch in Pod.
Yeah. Interesting, Frostbite didn't peep Desert Palace.
Are you saying they didn't go in it at all?
No, they didn't peep it at all.
Being a pendant, I can see why they're postponing it. But it's quick check, so it might also not have hurt to take a look.
100 rupees and a piece of heart. Delayed in more divergence. Sign Dark and Light East Death Mountain is where they want to find progression. Which is interesting because the hookshot is completely out of logic. So this will give them even more information if they really, really want to use all their brain power on the logic. Bo can't be here. Hammer could be here. But this is all out of logic, which is interesting. Oh, a boat could be here. Alright. And then people will complain when Ganon is like, the bow is in X place. Or the silvers are in X place when this is the second bow, obviously. Flippers for Frostbite, not very useful at this point. Especially with Swamp Palace being a pendant.
It does get us that rod on the island.
True, and we do need that. So that's a good point. There we go. Finally switching off of that god-awful boomerang. Almost already.
Which that's what we needed to get into Misery Mire, so yeah, good to find that.
Vominos. Shade in my head. Frostbite not even going for the dodgers though. Three bombs and another sword. Clayton's still not finding anything, which says a lot about this seed, honestly. If they don't find anything hookshot locked here, that says a lot more about this seed than it wants to let on. Like revealing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was meanwhile in Thieves Town, Frostbite hasn't found the small cave. We got a fire rod in Hookshot Cave, but that's really nice. And a red cave.
Yeah, okay. That says a lot more about this seed.
Very red Hookshot Cave here. Dang.
Go. No. Oh no, he can't get. Can't get the ice rod. Unfortunate. Oh, imagine if you already had the ice rod. Just like, you know what? You know what? Guess I'm going to Turtle Rock. Out of logic. Imagine if you found the bow in Turtle Rock. Like the other bow.
Right, yeah, that'd be insane. But yeah,
because then all you need is the hammer. Oh, without hammer. Hey, you know what? Chat, stop ruining my fun.
But yeah, what I was trying to get at before, Frostbite at this point has no keys, at the blind fight, and blind can't have the key, so we know the big chest is locking itself out. So at least there's no items left behind here in Thieves Town, which is really good news for Frostbite.
Mclagging might just go kill like Mothula here. So that is our first crystal at 45 minutes in. We are like very close to like. We need the hammer. We need a bow. We know where the ice rod is. We technically don't need the flippers, but we're gonna get them anyway.
We do for the island. For the rod.
Oh yeah, you're right. We can't fate flip to the island yet. Wait, could we? Can you delete? Can you splash delete and then like get in there somehow?
I'm gonna give you a solid maybe on that.
You probably could. From like that ladder by pod. The ladder by pod, you can probably do some shenanigans and get to the island. People are saying that you probably need boots. That's fair. Unfortunately,
I doubt we'll miss them because it's in Thieves Town, which
we're not gonna miss them, but I like skipping the flippers.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good flip skip?
My favorite play is the I've got everything for Ice Palace except for the flippers. Guess I'm doing Ice Palace now play.
Hey, it can pay off.
I just like doing Ice Palace. It's a good dungeon. I used to say nice, but chat has ruined that. And like, I never meant it one time. I do not pun.
All right, so with Mothula down, we're tied on crystals as Frostbite is taking purple chest. Can't do pegs because we don't have a hammer yet, and can't do sprite pouch because can't do magic back because they haven't gotten the sprite pouch from Pod yet. We do have a third bottle from Skull Woods, though. And what's old pal Stumpy got today? Just a piece of heart. At this point, Frostbite's up to 12 hearts in blue mail, so definitely not short in the defense department today. Got a fire shield, too. You know, Swamp could be where we find our next logical progressive item at this point.
Hammer in the one chest. Hammer in! Oh, that's not the one chest I meant, but you know.
Yeah, that purple one. Yeah, no, I gotcha. You're right. You're right.
Sure. That purple chest. Frostbite? Question mark? No, he's not checking.
Hype cave time?
Yeah, it's probably Hype Cave. Whatever that bow is. We're really just looking for the bow now. Yeah, we just need the bow. You know where the ice rod is? It could be in left side swamp. Heck, if we're lucky, it could be, Now, interestingly enough, I just don't know where... the bow cannot be in... Well, the first bow cannot be in TR.
Oh, I didn't see where, but apparently Frostbite does have a mushroom. Do you know where that came from?
No. This is an interesting... So, what happened is that Frostbite went to... Catfish. Catfish had gloves. Mclagging used Pot Glitch to get into Bow-Locked Pod, and then got his Titan's Mitts. So, and then found a bunch on Dark Death Mountain. Oh, wait, no, the hammer actually opens up... Never mind, the hammer opens up everything. The hammer actually opens up a lot. So now they actually... The bow can be basically anywhere. The bow can actually be in Turtle Rock now. With the first bow. So... Frostbite's gonna get Bombos, Fire Rod, and the cane here. Which means that they might go to TR immediately.
You know, if they can, there's a lot of items in there. That's not a bad idea.
Oh, no, what? Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Where was Hutch? Oh, yeah, this is unfortunate.
That was that sequence break pod.
Right. Oh, I forgot that the pod wasn't there. Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. Never mind.
Is Hookshot required, or is it just a convenience for that one torch room?
No, you need it for, to get the Samaria.
Ah, right. Right, good old Hookshot Cave. That's right, I'm one step out, not even inside T-Rock yet.
Unfortunate, I thought that was in, we don't even have boots. Can't get the Fire Rod either, so this actually is gonna suck. This is actually a complete waste of time for Frostbite. Yeah, this is just gonna be a complete waste of time for Frostbite. They'll get Bombos, and that's it. Oh, and ice called by Sabo Tender, very possible. It would have to be in an early chest because of where Hookshot and Kane are. I mean, the crazy is there is 2 bows, so we can always find a bow out of logic. So we can technically find a bow anywhere in any of the 217 locations. Or sorry, 216 locations. There can be a bow. So that is the interesting thing about the new progressive bow system. Oh, clean! Good RNG on Frostbite's side. Mine's Bombos.
So where does Frostbite go next?
Ice Palace. The first bow is probably in, like, Penguinator room, or in that, the Frost room. The Frost creature room.
Hi, my mind's on Swamp for some reason. I don't know, there's so many items in there, and they can get in. I feel like a lot of times they have items lock them out from a lot of it, but we got the Hookshot and the Flippers, although the Hookshot's still out of logic, so I don't know.
At least Frostbite gets their tempered. They're gonna go up and they're gonna check Turtle Rock. are they doing now? I actually not sure.
Spike Cave, maybe?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they dropped the hammer now. That makes sense. That's a good check. Mclagging getting his second crystal. Hey, that fairy. There we go. See if Mclagging ends up picking up that purple chest. Probably will. Like again, that flute and mirror make a lot of things a lot easier to do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but because of all we need to find is a bow, and we can't do swamp full clear without hookshot, but hookshot's locked behind bow, pedestal is dead, correct?
No, because it can still be the second bow. But yes, it kind of is dead. It's dead logically, but the silvers could still be there. And we are seeing what I assume, if it's not here, it's in swamp. So like, it's pretty much, it's either you're right or I'm right. Either I'm right, and that's going to be in these first couple rooms in Ice Palace, or it's going to be in the first, or it's going to be in the left side swamp probably. It could also be in the first chest, but first couple chests.
But with Ice Palace being the crystal, I definitely get Frostbite's option to head here first.
If GT Bidkey is torched, then this will be my third seed this tournament, where runners didn't need the boots, and it was on the torch, and my second seed, if they end up not finding the boots, where they have to search for the boots. So I'd like that not to happen again, because it's actually, you know, it's a weird race.
It's funny you mention that, because anytime I try to guess where the big key's going to be, I always pick the torch. I just think it's fun to see it bonk off of there.
Does nobody care about Bob anymore? Everyone just wants to see it. Everyone wants to see Bob not be Bob anymore.
Well, I want to see the big key before I get to Bob, honestly.
No one likes Bob anymore. Dead meme. Imagine Bob is the first dead ALTTPR meme.
Well, wherever that mushroom was, Mclagging got it too. And I looked away again, apparently.
Oh, right. I would do bomb jump memes here.
Definitely tricky, but Frostbite makes it look pretty easy. Not that I could come anywhere close to doing it, though.
That's actually super easy. There's like...
Ice Palace coming up pretty empty still. And now I'm just realizing we got the hammer in the purple chest. That is such an inconvenient place to have it because the hammer pegs are right here. We want to check it, but you have to bring the dwarf back, deliver the purple chest, then come back here just for that one check. And that...
I want the bow to be at hammer pegs now.
Oh, that would be something.
Oh, and he found powder too. I forgot about that. There was so much in that little area. Holy crap! Where? What are you?
Yeah,
Where are you leaving your friend?
Sequence break pod was pretty insane.
This sequence break pod was so crazy. Okay, this is just a 20. Don't leave your friends behind, everyone.
And with that heart container on Frostbite side, these runners are tied at 13 hearts.
Okay, so at this point, the bow can't be. Okay, Mclagging going to Desert Palace?
This is their first Myra area.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We got Cold Stare down, just dropping a key for Frostbite, so not too much great here. So it might be swamp time.
Yeah, or, I mean, actually, Desert. Desert is something that nobody's checked yet.
Oh, that's true. Bo could be up on that torch.
Mclagging?
They got the hook shot to get in.
Oh, you're right! Dab. He's dabbing on all of us by going into Mire this early. Is Frostbite memeing? No, they just have a really bad route. Because they didn't sequence break pod. Or ever go there in the first place.
I think Frostbite accidentally bombosed when they stepped foot outside of
Oh. Rip. I hate when I bombos out of anger. Are you doing a swamp, my friend? You're doing a swamp.
That is the denser of the two dungeons for them to check.
Yeah, but like everything after the first check is so long. Hey, it's a Godmire, of course.
Actually, denser might not be the best way to describe it, because yeah, like you said, they're far apart, but there's just a total of 6 items in there, though we can't get to all of them without hookshot. There's only 2 items in desert, although we could be locked behind boots in there too, so it's potentially neither dungeon is full clearable.
Interestingly, Mclagging can full clear. Oh, is Mclagging just being like... Yeah, Mclagging's doing the thin. They're gonna kill... This isn't the first time I've seen this either, lately. Killing Cold Stare, or Vitreous. I think at this point they know that the bow logically can't be here. So they're probably just clearing the dungeon and doing a few checks. They might come back in, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, because they're only looking for the bow. Boots could be available somewhere, but there's a very slim chance that the boots are going to be required. So, this is what they call a gamble, and when you're in Game 3 of your tournament life, and you lose this match, you sometimes gotta take a few gambles. Oh, I guess so. It's it's still unlikely. But yeah, it's true. I'm sure they'll go back in this situation.
They have a fairy unless they let it out. They have a fairy. Ooh.
Oh.
Shoutouts to that fairy in a bottle in Skull Woods.
Frostbite's not finding anything. Okay, Mclagging's going to desert. Nope, he's not. Okay, stop. Stop, runner. Stop making me look
checkerboard,
bad.
I'm thinking. Maybe desert afterwards. Just a little delay, that's all.
Oh, they're gonna check the Dina. Wait, no, they already did. Quick draw, I can't look at your name without thinking about Quick Tax, the program. Yay, desert! Whoa, 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 whoa. People are probably being all like, why are you cheering for a quick game? Because I own Dragon Quest 11 now, and I want to play. I want this to be a zoom seed. One torch? That would be bad. That would be very confusing. I want to see Mclagging steal the small key.
That would be interesting. And oh, without the hookshot, Frostbite's got to take the long way around on left side. Left side already is painful in the first place. Without a hookshot, it just feels... Well, that's boots. Okay.
Okay, so the boots are available. Never mind. Scratch that. Boat can still be in Meyer. And Fire Rod was, Fire Rod, so Fire Rod's in Logic now, because it was the first item. If I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure Fire Rod is in Logic now.
That sounds right, yeah.
Are those boots vanilla? Not even close.
So much for stealing that key, by the way.
Yeah. The small key was vanilla, though. So that's our two items.
Is this Hammer Pegs Frostbite's going to?
Maybe? Mclagging's.
I got boots. There's something in here. I gotta go.
I left something in here. Cold Star and bat, or Vitreous and bat. I'm imagining the dad bursting the door open meme, and it's just Vitreous cowering in the corner and Lynn standing above the entrance of Meyer. I'm back for your items.
The answer is not Hammer Pegs. That's one of the Meyer items. We got bombs.
Lynn, I have I would like, Lindland, I did the same. I haven't seen it since like day 3. I think I had. Oh, it was there! Woo, we're in combo!
Frostbite doesn't want to go to desert. Now, do you think when Frostbite sees that this is a bow-locked pod, do they start sequence breaking it?
I don't know. It's a little rough. Oh my gosh, and Mclagging only has to kill the 2 bosses here. And then only has to kill the 2 bosses, which is gonna take 5 minutes. And then Go Mode Ice, which is another 5 minutes. And then TR, which is like 7.
You hear stories of sequence breaks kind of throwing you for a loop and possibly making you screw up. This is an example of when sequence breaks just shine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you hate to see it.
And Frostbite choosing to stay in logic here. Now, with their boots, do you think they'll immediately head into Mire? Alright, Mclagging getting through those turtles. They're a little bit of a pain sometimes, especially just you flip some over, then you try to flip the rest, and the first one's flip back upright. It can be a pain. And from here, I'm really curious what Frostbite's going to do next, because with those boots, a lot of places opened up, but the one that matters at this point is going into Mire to get that bow so they can finally do pod in logic. Because that's where the hook shot is that Mclagging sequence broke a while ago now.
Yeah, it's actually just like sort of ridiculous.
Yeah, unfortunately, if it's like Frostbite's playstyle to stay in logic, that's just how it turns out that the seed wasn't meant for that, unfortunately. And we see here, since Frostbite never peaked Lumberjack, getting the boots now, hoping this is something nice, but just 10 arrows, not going to do much for him.
Yeah, the logic for this seed is pretty badly. If you were to do this, no sequence breaks. Frostbite's kind of doing that, not completely, actually almost completely. It's just unfortunate.
Can you think of something that was a sequence break for Frostbite? Maybe fake flippers.
Yeah, other than fake flippers, but Also, I found out there's been a mystery tournament going on, and now I'm sad that I'm not in it. Feels bad. I just want to play Mystery Seeds, man. All day, every day. But by the way, if you're in here and you haven't won mystery seed matches, your life isn't complete. That is all. Ah.
Alright, it's Frostbite's turn to head into Mire. If we're thinking about worst case scenarios here, they may... I just think there's a slight chance they might consider wanting to leave stuff behind, and just because they're thinking, I need to gamble now because I'm not finding stuff. Because if they end up wanting to go straight to the back of Mire instantly when they get that big key. But with being low on checks, that might not be the case, because they're thinking, okay, what did boots unlock? I haven't gotten anything using these boots. I have to find something. So I think there's a decent chance they'll stick around and find that bow.
Yeah, unfortunately, Frostbite can't go to the back of Mire. So they're just gonna...
okay. Yeah, so they're here for the item. So they'll get that bow then. Okay.
But then where are they gonna go with that bow? Or like they'll go to pod, I guess. So that's a double dip pod. I honestly... Mclagging might finish the seed before Frostbite hits go mode.
What does Frostbite need to do to go mode? Get the bow, take it to pod to get hookshot, and then hookshot cave?
Yeah. But they might do... they might go to Skull Woods, because they'll... Oh no, I just... yeah, once they go hookshot cave, I guess they'd be in go mode, but it's just... this is a rough seed for them. Like, Mclagging's gonna be definitely in GT. He only has, like... he has a very small amount of dungeon left. Yeah, this is just a rough seed if you didn't see that sequence break was everything. I don't think I've seen a sequence break be that impactful before. What is fairly what happened? Mclagging sequence broke pod and took that sequence break and ran with it.
Yeah, the biggest find out of it was the hook shot.
Yeah, the hook shot led us to 3 other progressive items. Or 2, I guess. Sorry, I guess the powder didn't actually lead to anything.
I remember a while back I was hoping that like Agina's Cave didn't have hookshot to result in like that 50-50 chance of someone going west and someone going to pod, and that cause a big split. With only one item on Catfish being a big item of those Titans, it ended up being that way anyway, that split caused a huge divergence.
Yeah. Yes, it was just a wicked seed. And you know what, honestly, when Dace Cloud writes out like that, it's not the worst. Like, if one of these runners just, like, went to, like, Pete, remember, I even said, like, hey, we should Pete in Desert. And nobody did? I was a little surprised. Because they were right there, and it doesn't take too long. And then if they did that, like, if Mclagging had peaked desert when I said, hey, he should peak desert. Oh no, he did, right? That was his first time there. I guess if Frostbite had peaked desert, things might have gone a little better. Oh, what a dumb seed.
So at this point, do you think we're gonna find that second bow?
It could be in TR or GT. And then that's the only place. If it's probably, it might be somewhere in like GT. Frostbite is probably closer to 20 minutes, 25 minutes behind. Mclagging has this, which is going to be about 7 minutes, GT, which is about 10, the Ganon fight, which is about 3. Frostbite still has to do all of that, plus do Skullwoods, go back to Hookshot Cave, and yeah, and beat EP. It could easily be like 25 minutes. Like, or I guess 20. Yeah, like it's a lot. Like, there's a lot that they still have to do. Well, the end one required was the nicest part of the seed. It was very close throughout. Like, they were seconds apart until the divergence, and then one sequence break.
It was kind of funny how it turned out, because you'd think gambling on catfish being the one item versus you think there might be a lot in pod, and then you get something really good on catfish. And somehow that ends up misleading you.
Yeah.
Crazy. And there's that hook shot on Frostbite's end.
They're still going to clear the rest, because they still are looking for a lot of items. Now, funny enough, this is one of those seeds where hovering would have been really crazy. Because that would be interesting if, like, you didn't do the pod sequence break, but then you hovered. You would have still done all those items, and hookshot's not required if you hover in this seed. So
yeah, that is bizarre how that could pay out for those hoverers out there.
If Frostbite knew how to hover, they would be fine. And it's actually not too bad of a hover. You only have to hover twice in that cave. You can bomb jump everything else. Wait, no. You have to have... Yeah, you can... Sorry, you can bonk everything else. Not bomb jump. There's more bonks than most people realize there. Right, that's what I'm saying. If I guess, yeah, you would have had to go to those boots too. Darn. Yeah, no, this seed's just cruel. Never mind, this seed's a jerk. It's the bird of seeds. Was that an unintentional pun? Can you item dash with the bow? Oh man, Mclagging doesn't even have to check Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I guess something in the seat is trying to give them a little reprieve, getting in one key there to bring all the way to the top. Makes you wonder what they're leaving behind, though.
Nothing necessary. Oh, excuse me.
Like that we got two bosses wagging their tails simultaneously, and then the simultaneous combustion. This is the point where the numbers start getting spammed in chat, right?
Yeah. One of us has to technically do something for that, and I don't remember how.
Nah, that's fine. It's just I think someone told me once they want favorite things. It's people rate the seed on a scale of 1 to 20 something, I think. Yeah, if you wanna just have a fun little guess, what chest, how many chests in do you think the big key will be in Ganon's Tower today? Like I said, I like seeing it on the bonk torch, so if I give it a number, I'll usually say 3. Do you have a number, favorite check?
1.
You just want to get out of here.
Yeah.
These runners out of here.
I want to play DQ11. Also, zoom seeds are fun. I like faster seeds.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we are going to the left side first, so the torch is going to be the first check. Meanwhile, Frostbite and Mirrodin went into Eastern, gonna get another crystal checked off the list here. Unfortunately, we'll still have to make the play up to Death Mountain before they start finding results, items-wise for Go Mode.
Hey!
Got the butter, and now we head into the right. Alright, that's 7 checks in. Still nothing. Alright, and where's Frostbite heading up? Up the mountain, here we go. This is what they need. Oh, for a second I thought they were committing to full right there, but they just wanted to grab that key out of the pot.
Frostbite's doing a dark worlds here, which means he'll be in Go mode, but he'll probably do. He'll end up doing Tarot and then have to reclimb the mountain. So, at least he's in go mode before Mclagging beat Ganon? That's good. There it is.
I think that's 12. I will admit numbers are hard sometimes, though. Oh, 13. Yeah, 13 sounds better. You're right. And with that Samara, you just saw Frostbite didn't even care to check the rest of Hookshot Cave there. They just skedaddled, fluted, and I guess they're going for Skullwoods now.
Yeah, okay, I guess. I mean, they got to climb the mountain anyways, so I guess we'll do everything else first. I'm wondering if that's any faster.
It'd be pretty darn close. But I think technically probably like some seconds faster. And we got Mclagging barreling their way through the gauntlet here.
Yeah. Okay, we're seeing the Samaria swap already.
Getting the triple there and the quadra on the next room is like some of the most satisfying rooms to pull off right. Personally at least. Just feels good just to see them all clear out so fast. Two keys in hand, Mclagging decides not even worth those two chests. They're getting rid of the mini Helmosaurs. They're just ready to get out of here.
Sebo, if it was probably just the bow strat used in any percent no EG. Because there is a really smooth strat that's used for that, since you only have the bow to kill those in that in major glitches. Actually, I wonder if major glitches can skip bow now, because you can glitch the mimics out. Yeah, I'd highly recommend a any percent no EG run if you want to see slit Ganon's tower shots. You do Ganon's tower on 6 hearts? Yeah. Oh no, you can't skip Eastern because you can't. You need the. You have to do something. No, you can. I don't remember anymore. I'd have to look at major glitches that's changed with all the new.
And with Agate down, it's time to fly our way back to the pyramid and down the chicken hole. At least some people say it's shaped like a chicken. Or cuckoo if we're being true to the Hyrule lore, I suppose. I believe Frostbite there just did the spooky action glitch. Is that what it's called? I just know it's the fancy trick that lets you skip going through a cracked wall in the back.
Yep. It's what it's essentially Ancilla, but it was discovered before we fully understood what was going on. It was kind of like the first hint that something was more than it seemed in ALTTP. Actually, I guess the first actually was when Andy accidentally... It was Andy. Somebody accidentally discovered that you could cause Kin's Tomb to fly like a few miles away if you shot the boomerang on the right frame. And that was like the first. That's like one of the first instances of Ancilla.
Mclagging got the torch glitch, getting through Silverless Ganon here. I missed the text box. Did we see where the second bell was?
I didn't see. I didn't read it. I never do, even when I want to know where. It was on Death Mountain.
Spike Cave?
No.
No, we didn't go in there.
Ether Tablet.
Oh, we don't have a book. That's true.
Either Ether Tablet or it's Mimic Cave.
Mimic, true, yeah.
Huh. Well, GG Mclagging.
At this point, Frostbite's down to just that last crystal, making their way up Death Mountain one last time. As we watch Frostbite head their way up into Turtle Rock, we got Mclagging here in the chat for an interview. How's it going? How you feeling?
Good, and I don't know. That hook shot being bow locked was screwing with my brain most of the seed, because I was trying to figure out where the bow was for that last hour.
It's okay, because having all of that was much better than not in this seed.
That's true, because the hook shot unlocked a lot.
Yes.
I was feeling good about that.
Yeah, that sequence, you guys were, you know, seconds apart entering Dark World.
Right.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, 100%. Seconds apart. You were slightly behind. You entered Dark World slightly behind Frostbite, and then you sequence broke pod, and Frostbite got the Titan's mitts and went.
Oh yeah, because getting the mitts first would have led you down a long path the wrong way.
Yes. Oh yes. And then even when they went to pod, they did not sequence break it.
Ooh,
So they
yeah,
double dipped pod, double dipped mired, had to go up Death Mountain twice. So
I checked Swamp too, which was unfortunate.
yeah, check left side swamp. Just a long trip.
Yeah. I about left Meyer, because like the only way I got in there was with the hook shot, which was bow locked. So the bow can't be in there till I found the boots. Like, oh, now the bow can be in there.
Yeah,
I'm glad I went back before I went anywhere else.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and technically, so with the bow being on Death Mountain, there was a 50-50 shot that the other bow was in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were thinking it might have been a Mimic Cave.
It could be a Mimic Cave.
Which would figure if a bow was in Turtle Rock. I mean, no surprise there.
Right. So, it is interesting that could have been it. Actually, I wonder if Frostbite ends up checking that here. Just because at this point he knows he's lost. I don't know though. I guess if you guys were talking about it, he was able to confirm that. Huh?
Yeah, no,
Unfortunately, I guess he didn't check it, so that's fine.
Yeah. Which, I mean, makes sense. He's just
Yeah.
trying to finish the game at that point. Yeah, that was not a nice seed, really.
Yeah, a quick question for you. I'm wondering, like, because after you did pod, like, we knew since pod was logically bow locked that, like, from your perspective, Catfish had to have something. So were you thinking that as you reset and went back up there, or was that just a check out of chance to get the second lift upgrade?
Yes, because I knew it was bow lock, so there had to be some type of progression at Catfish, whether it was the hammer or mitts or whatever else might have unlocked one of those. That's why I just beeline straight there to see what was there.
Because what was there changes a lot.
Yeah.
Hammer or hook.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how you managed to balance, like, the sequence break for the entire time, because you were out of logic for probably a good half to 3/4 of this seed.
Yeah, most of the seed. I was trying to keep it all in my head. I was like, I know hook shot I'm not supposed to have. I'm not supposed to have the fire rod. Guess when you got the hammer, you could have got Bombos. That would have unlocked Ice Palace. But, yeah.
Yeah, Ice Palace was another place the Frostbite went early. You got to just peace out. You got to just do it, get in, get out.
Yeah, I ended up go moding, what, 4 dungeons? Well, I entered Eastern and Pod before, so I didn't really count, but still a nice finish at the end at least.
Do you remember, was there a small key in the big chest of Turtle Rock?
Yes, there was.
Okay, I'm just double checking, because I just realized you did not have to do Laser Bridge, but Frostbite just went to Laser Bridge to grab their last key.
Yeah, I was gonna skip that, then I was already pulling out the bomb when I thought of it. I was like, oh, I was gonna keep going, and there's a key there. I was like, okay. So it worked out.
And as you went through, it was one of the questions, like, thinking about, like, how, what parts were you feeling like, oh, I'm probably really ahead, or oh, shoot, I might be really behind? There were any kind of big moments like that?
Finally committing to Aga when I did literally everything else I could do. I wasn't feeling great about that. And then once I finally got to Dark World, I was like, I'm just gonna go straight to Pod and hope something's there. So I was fully planning on bottle glitching and clearing out all of Pod and hoping there was some type of progression, which there ended up being at that point because of putting off Aga for so long to get Dark World.
All right, and with that, Frostbite's got their last crystal, and they can start heading up Ganon's tower. Be interesting to see which way they opt to go through. Yeah, the early part of the sea was really interesting because it was like maybe 3 or 4 chests into Kakariko, and it was like we were 1 item away from Dark World, and then the game just stopped.
Yes. Then it gave you a Master Sword. Then it gave you a lamp. And then there was also a cape that I didn't pick up. It's like, okay. It's just screaming Aga, but it's like, I've been 1 item from Dark World this forever now, and it's still just not happening.
Where was the mushroom? Do you remember? Because I think I saw both of you got it, and I'm like, oh, they have the mushroom now, but I didn't see where it showed up. It just suddenly lit up on the tracker. And chat's probably told me every time I brought it up, and I keep on forgetting to look.
It's in Thieves Town. That's right. And that hammer at Purple Chest too. That was tripping me up for a while looking for that hammer.
Yeah, we were talking about that like if you wanted to do hammer pegs, it just was completely inconvenient.
Yes. Yes, it was.
There were at least a few nice things in dungeons, like you didn't have the hammer going into Thieves Town, but the big chest was locked out entirely. It had the small key in it.
Yeah, there was a few nice points to the seed. But I wasn't at first planning on full clearing it. I was like, let's just do it and see what happens, and then it turned out okay. And with the key being there, you're supposed to have the hammer, so you knew it had to be around somewhere close-ish, hopefully.
Yeah, but those little nice things don't forgive all the other.
No, they don't. Actually, the seed gave us the ice rod right away, or you at least seen it right away. That was surprising, considering everything else the seed did.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on the island there. That was a nice little bit of visibility early. Oh, and when it was in Mire, when you died, did you remember that you had a fairy?
Yes. I wasn't playing right when it happens. Like, wait, I have a fairy. I'm okay. I was not happy when I died.
I think there was a pretty unanimous gasp across the chat.
So I tossed my controller on my keyboard, and then I was like, wait, I have a fairy. Picked back up the controller, and we were okay.
Yeah, definitely recuperated pretty quickly off of it, so not too bad.
I figured it had to be a god mire too, so you didn't want to look for items in there because you got the big key immediately.
Oh, of course, it always turns out that way. And here Frostbite picks up their big key, mirrors out, and time to head up to the gauntlet. Routed slightly differently, but I think that ended up still being chest number 13. And at this point, the only tracking items unaccounted for, it looks like, is just book, and then we never saw red mail either, I don't think. But Bugnet was up on a bumper cave ledge, and then we know somewhere in Death Mountain is where the silvers are.
So how did you guys like the retro mode start? You know, standard mode with the sword.
I didn't tell that. I did like that. I was like, oh, it's the old V18 tournament.
He picked a third sword, and when I lost, like, you know what, let's just go retro. Do a callback to the first ever tourney. Standard mode with the sword.
I don't even think open mode existed then.
No, it didn't.
Pretty sure that's like V23 even. Like it wasn't like because the tournament didn't update versions throughout the entire thing. There was I remember there was a small controversy in that somebody was like, "Yeah, we're gonna update it," or I think it might have been a choice people could make, but nobody, only 2 people ever did, and it was like.
Vote on it because at that time progressive was a thing, but the tournament rules, they didn't have progressive in it.
That was it. V23 introduced progressive, and I think that if both runners agreed it would be on V23 or whatever introduced progressive. But it was there was like 2 matches in the entire tournament that were not on progressive. It was it wasn't liked at the time. Or at the very least, changing the rules mid-tournament was definitely a no-no.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it still kind of is, but it's more that versions are just don't come out as often. So, like back then, I think like version 17 to version 27, I think all 10 of those versions happened within like 3 months. Like it felt like every other week there was a version like changed because they were changing logic so often.
Yeah, they were cranking out a lot for a long time. Then all at once, like 29 and 30 were out for a year. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I think it was like I think there was one. I remember that one version shortly after progressive was like the chance of having 4 swords in Yannin's tower was actually like, astronomically high.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it was the 4 swords adventure seed, was it, or the 4 swords adventures is what they called it, because it was like your 4 swords were always in GT.
Yep.
And then it was like 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, they were like, "Yeah, we fixed it. We figured something out. Here's GT Phil."
A lot of people learned swordless at that time.
Yeah. And I think crystals might have been. I think crystals and pendants were picked last back then. And nowadays they're the first things in the seed. So, and that they're pretty sure that they determine crystals and pendants after item generation now. And I feel like for a while that was the opposite. God bless Christos for his logic work. Holy.
Frostbite getting a triple on that first one. Yeah.
That was very nice.
Are these agate positions not being too kind? And with that, Frostbite's down on their way to the Big Pig. It is nice that at least in the end we ended up with that butter sword for Ganon, just to get through it a little bit quicker. Just like that, on to phase 3. Frostbite getting torch glitch, time for some spins.
Unfortunately, not finding that silvers, but
And down goes Ganon. Frostbite's got one last bridge to cross, and that's GG for them. What beautiful Triforce text we have here.
Oh, well, that was a fun seed to watch. Hmm?
Not sure if we'll be able to get a Frostbite in here for a post-race interview. Either way, GG's for Frostbite making it through to the end. It was a little grueling with that sequence break locked hook shot and pod, but nice to see they're able to pull through and get through. And there we are, GG's Frostbite.
Don't lie to me. GG's Mclagging. That was an absolute disaster on my part. But, awesome job. I mean, I'm honestly surprised it was even as close as it was, given how poorly I played. I'm sort of curious what you did, but I was a little bit frustrated, obviously, in the end game. But it would have been a really good seed to have my voice on, other than obviously the obvious cursing. But like I accurately predicted my entire downfall as I was picking up all the items. It would have been a really funny thing to listen to, but alas. But GG's to Mclagging. I mean, obviously, the decision to not go into Desert Palace when I was there was ultimately catastrophic, and couldn't come back from it.
Well, that wasn't what it was. It was the odd sequence break that he took that ultimately did you in.
But that wouldn't have made a difference, because if I'd gotten the boots, I would have gone into Mire and gotten the bow a lot earlier than I did, and avoided Swamp Palace and avoided all that stuff. So
yeah,
the sequence break. I mean, I totally would have done it if I had one item location left outside of Pod, and I figured at that point I was going to have to come back to Pod anyways, unless the second bow was there, which I figured was very unlikely. So I just decided not to go there, and of course I predicted exactly what was going to happen. I actually thought I was going to find the Canis Maria in Misery Mire, but it was of course even worse seeing that shot.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it just went really poorly for me, and I had other outside circumstances that impacted my ability to play, which was unfortunate, but it's a sort of limited time frame to get these matches in, and there wasn't anything I could do about that as well. But no, GG's to Mclagging. He played well. I played poorly, and it is what it is. He's going on to the next round.
Hey, GG Frostbite.
I really wish that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I was just going to say, I really wish this hadn't have been a 1v1. I'm not a big fan of 1v1s in general, because I like trying to set the fastest time possible in the seed, and that's like just unlikely to happen in a 1v1 because it doesn't make sense to take sort of big risks. But if this was a big race, man, there could have been a really fast time, because you gamble Aga early. I wanted to gamble Aga before I checked so many things. And then when you've gambled Aga, you've already sunk the Aga cost, so you're going to go to Pod. Even if you find the Mitt, you're still likely to go to Pod at some point fairly quickly. I figured maybe the Flute would have screwed me in that scenario, but it's hard to say. But No, I obviously when I left Swamp Palace, I knew I had 100% lost, and just wasn't gonna forfeit my my last race in the tournament. So.
Understandable, and you put on a great show on the way out there. That I saw you got a triple on the first hit on Aghanim, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then the next two were blanks. That was hilarious. But no, that was a funny fight too, because the second and third rounds were very setups that were very sort of. I like to spin. I find I get better multiples when I try and spin, and I'm greedy. And the second and third setups were definite non-spin setups, but I went for them anyway. And then I had a really good setup in the next one, and of course I despawned the guaranteed energy ball that would have saved me a cycle. So it was really really funny. But no, I had some. It's like every game. I had some spots where my execution was really good. I felt I played pretty good from the start, and then after about the halfway point, it just went downhill.
I will say, up until Aga, you guys were neck and neck, which was really interesting to watch. That like the seed didn't really let you divert too much, and it was just crazy to see how close it was. And yeah, it really was just that divergence as soon as you hit the Dark World that just turned the entire seed on its head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really regret doing what I did. I'm never going to pod in that scenario, because I'm figuring there's not going to be anything on Catfish. And I don't want to isolate Catfish. So it's actually like a safety play I'm making there. But of course, when I found the myths there, I was never going to go to pod after that. And then sort of in a 1v1 race, the longer I put off pod, the lower the value of going to pod was, to the point where I second to last located it. And then of course, once it was bow locked, I figured I need to go find the item that's actually blocking the seed. I don't need to go screw around in the back of pod when all of TR is available, the back of Swamp is available, the back of Skull Woods is available. There were so many items that could have been opened by finding Canis Mari, but of course it was the bow. And I kind of predicted that it was going to be that on when I was yelling at myself. But yeah, I thought about bottle glitching it at that point, but like I feel like the seeds are dynamic, and if I'd done that, there wouldn't have been anything in there, so it wouldn't have been a good play. So even though that's obviously not true, but that's sort of how it feels when you play it. And there's so many bad things. Like I did a practice seed this afternoon, I finished it about 45 minutes faster than this one, and I absolutely god-redded it, so I knew that there was no chance in hell that this was going to go well for me tonight, because it's one of the, I had a seed that like every single decision I made was correct in that one. And I mean, it's hard to say what the decisions in the light world, because there wasn't really any decisions to make. You had to sort of full clear it. I feel especially after you found the flute, it didn't make any sense to gamble Aga early at that point. But after that, every single decision I made was wrong, from not going to pod to not going to desert, the two things I skipped basically, and they were the only two locations that mattered, other than I guess the front of Thieves Town, which gave me the flippers, which led to absolutely nothing. So.
Ice Rod though.
Yeah, I mean you're right, but I knew where that was.
Yeah,
right?
and it barely led to Ice Rod.
And I really didn't even need the flippers to get that anyways. Like, if I hadn't have found the flippers, I would have been absolutely fine in this seed if I could have just got the boots. But, that Ice Rod was hilarious, too, because you're almost certain that TR was going to be a crystal with the Light World setup the way it was. But, yeah, it was interesting. I really wish the hammer had been on, like, the green pendant or something like that, so that there would have been more reasonable options available, other than sort of the pick one, and both have items, and if you pick one, you're not going to get the second item. Whereas if you went to pod, obviously you get the hookshot, but the hookshot's not in logic, so it makes no sense to not go to Catfish at that point. Of course, then Catfish leads to the myth. It doesn't make any sense to hookshot across at that point when you can just flute up to Death Mountain and get 1,000 items. So yeah, and then everything was up on Death Mountain, so it was a really, really generous seed if you went to pod.
For sure, yeah, this one was crazy to watch.
Yeah, but anyways, this was a fun tournament. Obviously, I mean, I wish I didn't play so poorly in the end stages. I felt I played a lot better in the qualifiers, but I feel like I play better in big races because I'm aggressive and I take chances, and that's not what pays off in 1v1s. And it's not really, it's not my thing. I wouldn't pick it if I was designing the tournaments, but I understand why you don't have races at 10, because good luck scheduling those. But it would be, I don't know. I'd really love a tournament that was designed where you had big races where the goal was to win, not get a good Q score, not screw it up, but the goal was to win, and there was sort of no consequences for not winning. So I'd love that sort of scenario. But no, this is fun. I mean, it's different than the races we normally play, and I'm obviously going to play in them. But you know, I'm getting sort of yawning with 1v1s because that seems to be what all the sort of non-casual races are. So, but it is what it is. I'm happy I qualified. That didn't look like it was going to happen, and can't really complain. I didn't lose in 2, and I mean, I totally screwed up the first one, and I totally screwed up this one. So I mean, I don't even really feel like I got outplayed. I feel like and that's no offense to Mclagging, he played well. That's not what I'm saying, but I feel like I totally sabotaged myself, so I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse. Oh, that's what I wanted to mention. I don't even know if anyone checked my stream or anything, but I had actually mismarked the medallion from Misery Mire, and it was funny, because I had marked it as Ether. And of course, the very last thing I found before I went to Misery Mire was the Ether medallion in King's Tomb. The other funny thing is that mismark was actually functionally irrelevant, because I absolutely last located the boots, and the hook shot was locked behind Misery Mire, logically at least. I couldn't get into Mire until that point anyways, so it was funny, even though I totally should have totally screwed myself by not having the right medallion marked on my tracker. It functionally didn't make a difference in the end.
That's funny how that turns out. But yeah, congrats Frostbite for making it as far as you did in the tournament. Definitely put on a great show. Mclagging, any final thoughts as you head into the next round here?
Sad I don't get a race Frostbite anymore in the tourney. Our series was pretty fun.
Yeah, the only reason I don't want to race you anymore is because our seeds have all been nasty.
That's so true. I think that's the theme of this whole tourney, is just horrible seeds.
You know what? You're so right, because like going back to the first 2 matches I had against GP, one of them was a bowless seed that Mimic Clipping would have won you the race, and one of them was a hookshotless seed that Hovering would have won you the race. So that was my start to the group stages. But no, you're right. The seeds have been. I watched these other times come in, and people are putting up like 110, 117, 125. I don't think I've played a single race where the best time was below like 128. I think the entire time. So. But no, awesome job again, Mclagging. These were super fun races. I wish I put up a little better fight in the 2 races I choked on, but it is what it is, and good luck in the next round. And I think you're facing Goomba, if I'm not mistaken. He's a friend of mine, so I hope you kick his butt so I can trash talk him, and so that you can, you know, I want you to go. I want to lose to the best, right? So.
I'm looking forward to the Goomba matches. I think those will be pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. But anyways, I'm going to step out of here. Thanks, Downless and Xander, for doing the call, and Ace0 for the tracking. And again, just congratulations to Mclagging, awesome dude, and GG's, and good luck moving forward.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks, guys, for commentary and restream and our tracker.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, you got any final words to see us out, Zelda?
No, it was a fun scene to watch. I'm glad to have gotten to commentate it tonight.
Yeah, and on that note, everyone keep an eye out. I think there are no more races tonight, but there's plenty more rando to come. But yeah, with that, I think that'll be us signing off. So be sure to follow all the Speed Gaming channels to keep up with this tourney, the rando races, as well as plenty of other races and tournaments they got going on here. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I've been Xander Robotnik. And with that, I think we're out of here.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.